Hello. Welcome back to my podcast, Imladris Pod. I am Olivia, host of this podcast, and I talk about knitting and yarn and everything in between. Except crochet. I don't really talk about crochet, but we will be getting into a little bit of that. Because today I wanted to talk about Lion Brand patterns from a long time ago. First I wanted to show off some whips and some FOs that I've made in the past month or so. Here is my first Sophie scarf. It's so cute! I had such a fun time making this. I made it out of Lamb's Pride Superwash in Wild Honey, which is a discontinued yarn. I don't remember how I got it, but I have it, and I've been using it mostly for gifts. This is a beanie that I recently actually designed called the Good Bean, and actually I have a open call for testers right now. I'll go ahead and put the link to that down below, but it's like I say in the pattern, it's like my perfect version of a staple beanie. I didn't want to call it the staple beanie because there's already one of those, and so my husband was like, the Good Bean, so that's what it's called. I like the name. So this is actually going to be a gift, and I'm actually going to be duplicate stitching one of the X-Men logos on it right there in the front. But I'll still be able to take pictures for the pattern and everything. So yeah, there's that. And then I'm also actually wearing one of my FOs. Sorry it's not blocked yet, but this is a test knit that I made for Needle Fox Arts, who is local to me and works in my local yarn store, Cozy. And it was just such a quick, fun way to use up some yarn. And actually I bought yarn for this project, but if you have things like 40 grams of two colors and then about 20 grams of another, you can make this. It's called the Ribbon Candy Cowl. I'm not sure when it's going to release, but the test will end in actually tomorrow, so I should probably get this blocked. But yeah, it's really fun, and I highly recommend getting a copy of it when it comes out. I just realized I started absentmindedly taking off my stitch stoppers because I was going to start knitting, but I can't. I have trouble knitting without looking for too long, so this is not a knit and chat, but this is the main whip that I'm working on right now. It's another one of those hats, but I'm actually going to make it quite a bit shorter, so it's more of like a fisherman's hat, like a skull cap sort of thing for my brother-in-law. And he asked for a maroon fisherman's beanie, so that's exactly what he's gonna get. And my last whip that I will show is just the start of another Sophie scarf. This is in Feels Like Butter by Lion Brand, and actually these two are also using Lion Brand yarn. This is Lion Brand Wool Ease, which I really like. And then this is Lion Brand Feels Like Butter, which is kind of fun to say. It's also fun to work with. It feels kind of like microfiber, but I believe it's a polyester. I might be wrong. It is a synthetic yarn. So yeah, I wanted to make that brief because mostly what I wanted to do today was just have a fun little look through at some old Lion Brand patterns, and this is not meant to be like a mean-spirited roast or anything like that. I like to getting it a little spicy, but it's all in good fun because I love Lion Brand, and it's just so fun to see what yarn companies used to come up with back in like the early mid 2000s, which is when I started knitting. And if you haven't seen my first or second video, I've been knitting since about, I want to say like 2006 or so. think I was 10 or 11 years old, so pretty long time. I haven't been knitting consecutively through that time. Like, there's been breaks, multiple year-long breaks, but I'm like fully in the wagon probably permanently now, which is really fun. But yeah, I learned on Lion Brand yarn. That's what I used. Most of what I used growing up knitting because it's so affordable. So I'll just give a quick rundown of what they're all about in case you're not familiar if you're outside the US. Lion Brand is a yarn company based in the US that specializes in affordable yarn and offers free patterns. The two big box craft stores that I've typically gone to over the years, Joann and Michael's, carry a lot of Lion Brand, and I think that's part of why, or what makes them so accessible besides their price point. Just to give you an idea, this used less than 1 skein of Lion Brand wool ease, and it cost me less than $4. So this hat really was like $3.50 to make, which is insane. And it's not artisan quality fiber or anything, but it's functional, it's washable, it's warm. So I'm really happy with the quality for the price I paid. I feel like I would have paid more. Something I didn't know about Lion Brand, and I found this on their Wikipedia page, is that they are the oldest producer of knitting and craft yarn in the US, which is insane to me. I don't remember what year exactly it said that they were founded, but it was in the late 19th century, which, yeah, nuts. So imagine you're a company that's involved with knitting since the mid-late 19th century. You've seen trends come and go. You've seen fibers go in and out of fashion. Some of them are really weird. And then suddenly the internet comes along and everything, including knitting, just explodes. So what I wanted to show off today were some of the results of that knitting explosion. I think part of that knitting explosion in the early 2000s come from, I think there was a book called Stitch and Bitch. But anyways, I think that Lion Brand likely had a big hand in increasing access to knitting. Yeah, like I said, I found a lot of interesting patterns. I found some good ones, so I'm going to highlight good patterns and bad patterns. Maybe bad patterns aren't the right word. They're just, to me, ugly. So I'm going to show off some really cute patterns that I would knit, possibly, and then ones that I would never knit in a million years, or crochet. I think there are some crochet ones in here. So let's just get started. So I shifted myself over so that you can see what I'm talking about over here. I'll put images of everything. I will try to find good quality images, but every time I've gone onto the website and looked at these old patterns, the image quality is awful. So like I said, I will try my best. No promises. The first bad pattern that I found is for a pair of crochet socks. They're called the knit. Sorry, is this knit or crochet? This looks crochet, but the image quality makes it so I cannot see the stitch definition at all. But I mean, it says they're knit, so I'm just going to take them at their word. These are knitted socks made for the Grinch. That's all I can say. So I just want to point out that this material at the top, if you're not familiar with this yarn, it's called fun fur, and it is the opposite of fun. And it is not fur, it is plastic. Okay, sorry, acrylic, I'm trying not to be snobby. It's acrylic fur, I guess. Here's another pattern that uses fun fur. This is Double the Fun scarf pattern. And let me tell you, these scarves were so fashionable back then. Like, at least my 10-year-old, 11-year-old brain thought that. For the briefest time in my life, these were just an obsession. I wanted to make everything out of fun fur. I wanted shirts, I wanted scarves, I wanted a hat. And I did actually, I think at some point I did have a hat that was kind of like fun fur. Ridiculous. Yeah, this doesn't look comfortable at all. It looks like it would cause rashes on my neck. I can't see it going with any piece of clothing that I own. So yeah, that's a big no from me, dog. This other one doesn't count either because I also just wanted to show the epidemic of fun fur. This scarf that I'm showing right here was actually on the package of fun fur. And I think it looks good on the model, but I think if most people tried to wear this, including myself, it would look like a Muppet dyed around your neck. The first pattern I like that I'm going to show off is the Ballet style sweater knitting pattern. This reminds me a lot of a recent pattern I've seen called the Aviva Wrap Top by Jamie Creates. And I just think it's a really cute style. The style is timeless. I think it could look good on most body shapes. And yeah, I mean, I could see myself making this. I would probably choose to make Jamie's pattern, to be honest. But, you know, for a free pattern, I think this is really cute. The next stinky pattern that I'm showing is called the Zigzag Accessories pattern. The Zigzag Accessories pattern is a knit bag pattern made with super bulky weight yarn. So actually, when I pulled up this pattern, I was looking not at the bag, but I was looking at the hat that she is wearing. What is that? That looks like a giant flower, like a giant Christmas flower that does not belong on someone's head, but instead in a vase. And then looking at the top here, I'm not really sure why those pieces of yarn are coming out, but it doesn't look right. I'm not sure where they were going with this, but that was a choice and they made it. The next pattern that I liked is called the Oversized Turtleneck pattern. And I'm looking less at the yarn choice here, which a little questionable, but I like the long kind of droopy turtleneck shape going on here. I could see myself making this for wearing around the house, maybe. I would just cool it on the rainbow blotches. I think there are better ways to put rainbows on your clothing that don't look like pill bugs. This one made me laugh out loud. Like, I don't remember if I gasped or laughed, but there was something, and it's kind of like the previous bad pattern. This looks like one of those cardboard round things that I don't even know. That I'll pull up a picture here of like these cardboard round things I would like put on my head, and it's all. I'll just put up a picture. But this hat does not look like a hat. It looks like a gift bag, or like it looks like a bag without a bottom, or it looks like something that you turn upside down and like wrap flowers in. But it doesn't look like something that belongs on someone's head. I'm just going to move on to a good one. This next one is the Bold Stripe Beanie and Scarf Set pattern knitting. And I think I could see myself having at least attempted to make a set like this as a kid, or, once I got to the point where I could make hats and like maybe have some of the patience for a scarf. I think I did not have much patience, which is, I think, part of why I didn't get too far with knitting growing up. but I would have worn the crap out of this. This next one, I've seen some stitch patterns, or I guess, I don't know if I would refer to it as a stitch pattern necessarily, but just like the choice of colors and yarn weight together. I'm personally not a fan of this look, and I think that it would be really hard to finish this in a way that doesn't make it obvious. And I can appreciate having something that looks handmade and doesn't look perfectly store-bought or anything like that, but I'm not a fan of the holes. And yeah, I think I would find it challenging to weave in my ends properly, and I don't know if I'd need to block this, but I don't really like the look of this. I think it would be, I don't know if this would be a good summer garment or somewhere in between, like in the spring and fall, because it's bulky and it seems like it could be worn, but then if you look closely, it's just full of holes because of the gauge that they use. So that's a no for me. The next pattern I liked, I'm showing off, is called the Road Scarf pattern, knitted. And to me it looks like a scarf that is just knit and purl, but it looks like more. And I know there's a pattern I know of, I don't know if it's a blanket or a shawl that is just knits and purls, and it just looks fantastic, and this scarf reminded me of that. I could see myself making this if I want an easy project or making a gift for someone. I just think it has a really classic look, and I also like the color that they use to show off the scarf. So this one's a yes, I like it. The last pattern I didn't like that I'm showing off is something that is supposed to be a scarf. It's called Pom Pom Scarf pattern, and scanning from the top to the bottom of this photo, it looks like, oh, that's a cute cowl, and then what are those things hanging off the scarf, presumably? Why are they so large, and what do you do with them when you have to eat? I don't even know. Do you brush them behind you and just have pom-poms on your back? Do you take the scarf off every time you need to do something? It doesn't really look compatible with performing human functions, but if you were to get rid of the pom-poms, I'd say it's a pretty cute cowl scarf. But yeah, I'm gonna label this as non-functional. The last one, just from far away, this looks crocheted, but it's actually knitted. This is the Zodiac Scarf Scorpio, and it's one of the first patterns on their website, but they just nailed the photography. It's a unique shape, which I like. I love the colors that they use to show off the scarf, like the color combination. You just need to look at the photo. I just take one look at this photo and I'm like, yes, I do need to make this pattern. I do feel like a rock star, and I think that if I made this scarf, I will be just like her. I wanted to leave off on a good note because, like I said, I appreciate Lion Brand for what they do. I like using their yarn, not all of the yarn, because at this point I've fallen into the hand-dyed hole, but yeah, I still use Lion Brand yarn, and I love what they do. I love the knowledge that they've given me with their free patterns over the years, and I just thought it was so funny. I decided one day to just scroll through and see if I could find old patterns that I used to see in publications and on the yarn labels and stuff, and oh boy, some of those, I really encourage you to take a look because some of them are just hilarious. So, hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you agree or disagree with some of my choices here. Just be nice, I guess, but we can be spicy here, it's fine. And I hope to catch you next time. Bye.